Yo, welcome to the Cosmic Paradox channel. Like, subscribe, and share.
Peace, 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 peace. What's poppin', everybody? What's poppin'? We got a nice, good one today. Now, I'm probably going to change a few times because it's probably going to take me a good little while to get through it. Y'all know how it goes. It takes me a while. I got to chop them up and do them bit by bit sometimes. But we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes. But we got a real good and a very important topic. I should have been done this. Should have been one of the very first foundational lecture breakdowns I did. But here we right. So the Hermetic principles, right? This is very vital, very important when it comes to studying metaphysics. When a lot of people come to the conclusion that they are in a place where they want to take a spiritual path more so than a religious one, being confined to a religion, a lot of people don't know how to leave that religious mindset because, well, we don't often know where should we go next, what should we do from here. And what I recommend as far as a good a good spiritual foundation is to take the path of dealing with metaphysics, coming out of religion, going more into the metaphysics side, because metaphysics deals more with the esoteric version of what is supposed to be religion. So if you come up in religion, when you get that esoteric version, it can give you more of a metaphysical storyline or understanding of that which is what has been traditionally taught to you as religion. So it's a good way for you to take it to the next level. So when I say metaphysics, right, a good way to get into that is to look into Hermeticism. Hermeticism is dealing with the Hermetic principles or the teachings of Hermes, as the Greeks called them, but as our ancestors called them, one Tehuti. So we're going to talk about the Hermetic principles because when one is trying to leave the religious mindset, because it's not really about the religion itself or what religion you choose, it's about understanding that you are dealing with a limited religious mindset. So you want to broaden your mind, you want to open your mind. The way to do that is to step into metaphysics, step into Hermeticism. Now, um, a lot of people, this is why you see so many people on the spiritual path having a relation to one ancient Egypt, because a lot of this stems from the ancient Egyptian pantheonic system. Now, true pharaonic thought or the true teachings of the pharaohs, the way the pharaohs lived, and the teachings and the initiations that they went through was hermetic material, not necessarily Egyptian pantheon. That was more so like religion versus philosophy, right? So if you really wanted to understand of the higher hierarchy, those of the high priests, those who are initiated, those who went through the schools of thought through the pyramids, then you dealt with Hermetic thought. You dealt with the philosophy side of it versus the religious and the storytelling of it all. So everybody was not initiated into the higher science. That's something we have to remember. So if that was the case in those times, then it's quite safe to say that not everyone is going to be equipped for this knowledge in today's time. So this is not something that you force on people because it takes a special way of thinking to, to expound on it, to even gravitate towards it, right? So that's first things first. Now, these principles run very, very deep, and it can take you a long time to fully understand and embody them. It's like each time you come back to them, you may understand them in a new way or on a deeper level. So, and in times, it's these principles that's going to help you to master your mind as a whole. So, if you're getting into, you wanted to master mind, wanted to master yourself, wanted to step more into your divine nature, then this is what you need to be studying. This is what you need to be dealing with as far as a good head start, a good point of foundation. So these seven Hermetic principles can be applied, and you see them applied all throughout all religions, and we're going to touch on why that is. Okay, so when we move on now, the Hermetic laws are axioms or philosophical and scientific principles that were taught by Tehuti, or as we properly actually spell it with a D, it's like DJ, pronounced in a way of Tehuti, but it's also known as Thoth and also known as Hermes. Okay, so what we know is these deity type figures have different names throughout different cultures and different regions as it translates. But for all purposes here, we're going to refer to it as the teachings of Tahuti. The teachings of Tahuti, right? So, but whenever you see Hermes, whether it says Hermes, Thoth, or Tahuti, we talking about the same entity, right? It's the same entity we talking about. Now, as far as with Tahuti, he revealed to mankind medicine, chemistry, law, art, astrology, music, rhetoric, magic, philosophy, geography, mathematics, especially geometry, anatomy, and oratory. So, Hermeticism is a philosophical system that is primarily based on the perpetuated teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. Megistus. These teachings are contained in the various writings that's attributed to Hermes. So, because we know the wisdom word is based on Greece, it's based on the ancient Greek, a lot of things that predate that and that's outside of that is not going to be credited as such. They're only going to go to the Greek system, even though the Greeks went and learned from those other, went and learned from the Kush, learned from the Kush and learned from the ancient Egyptians. Even though they did, this is where the credit start. So we know that we recognize that we already know what that is. Nothing to really trip ourselves over. We just gonna take what we need and discard of the rest, right? Because we know history and everything of its nature has been whitewashed. We know that all of these things like to be accredited to those of, specific types of people, but we know the truth and we know how those things are, right? And because when you get into metaphysics, when you get into the occult, you leave more out of the physical world because you know that so much of this has been tampered with, so much of this has been meddled with. You don't bank your identity on it so much because you take the inner journey. So you know who you are from the inside out. So you actually begin to defy the physical means of your identity anyway. That's why, in a sense, a lot of spiritual people are seen as more delusional types because they defy those physical boundaries that most people identify themselves with.